Content warning, content warning, content warning. If you are a straight man, there is a possibility that you will not like this movie. This movie is definitely made for the girls, gays, and theys.
It's a Friday once again.
Hey my fellow freaks, and welcome back to the channel. I hope you all have had a great week. This week we are looking at another movie that has kind of always been lingering on my recommended list whenever I go on to Prime or just simply log on to my TV. I have a smart TV, so you know how like on the home page it'll recommend stuff to you, or it'll let you like choose something to continue watching, like that little bar or whatever. So this is a movie that has been on that bar or on my homepage on like Prime as a recommended for several years. From the description, I was always very interested, but I've never just taken the time to sit down and finally watch it. So this channel is becoming yet another tool for me to finally watch a horror movie I've always wanted to watch and never had the time to. And that film is May from 2002, directed by Lucky McKee. And before going into it, the only things that I knew about May was that the main character works at a vet clinic and that she's considered weird and had a lazy eye. And that's it. That's all I knew just from reading the short, brief synopsis that streaming services give you. And you know, I'm in... I thought that alone was interesting, right? But it really doesn't prepare you for what the movie actually is. And yes, it is about that, but listen, this is truly a perfect movie for weird girls. Like weird girls who are a little bit grotesque and like gross things. Ugh, I'll get into it. I'm getting ahead of myself here. But I especially wanted to talk about May and finally watch it because like movies such as Amy in a Cage that have been recommended to me through Prime or through my homepage on my TV, I haven't heard a single person talk about this movie, not even mention it, not even seeing any gifs or screenshots on Tumblr about it. I haven't heard a single soul mention May, just like Amy in a Cage. And why the fuck not? Why the fuck are we not talking about May? We're about to today. Come join me on this adventure on why this is the most perfect weird girl movie I've ever seen in my entire life. I am incredibly excited to get some more eyes on this movie because I haven't heard anyone talk about it. Do you even know about it? Do you know about May? You're about to find out, but first, if you are new here, hi, my name is STARGUTZZZ. Any crashing, loud noises, or chaos that you hear in the background, those are my cats. And my movie reviews tend to be more of a discussion of elements that I find are good or bad about a film, rather than like giving you a play-by-play of every event that goes on. So in other words, I do try to refrain from spoilers as much as possible, however, they can arise sometimes as they pertain to our discussion. If you would like to watch May before the rest of this review, you can do so on Pluto TV. I will provide a link in the description so it is that much easier for you to watch. Please watch this movie. Unfortunately, it is not on Tubi. Perhaps one day it will be. Also, I'm not sponsored by Pluto TV in any way. I think if you have a Prime subscription, it's part of Prime as well. And yes, there are other free means that you can watch this movie. If you know how to do that, I'm not gonna stop you and I'm not gonna snitch. Now let's get right into this review. May is an oddball of a girl who's been ostracized her whole life for the intense lazy eye she was born with. Which, by the way, people who have already watched this, I do want to note that yes, I noticed how her lazy eye changed from her left eye to her right eye between childhood and adulthood. I can't not say it. But after getting corrective contact lenses, May finally begins to get the attention she's always craved. However, the contacts cannot hide May's strange and weird nature. Her actions and behaviors slowly make those around her uneasy enough to reject her once again. And after so much heartache and rejection, May cracks. Okay, I do have to give a serious content warning, which maybe I should have put it with the link, but narratively, a cat does get killed in this movie. So that is just a little bit of a genuine content warning for those of you who are sensitive to that kind of stuff. It happens, like, it's part of the rising action. The cat is very obviously not actually killed. Holy shit. is that this movie is indie as fuck. This is like every hipster indie weird girl. It's an indie love story, you guys. When this starts out, it is an indie weird girl love story. And it's also a little bit of a coming of age story. Now, I know when we say coming of age, a lot of people think of like your teen years. However, I think there's another category of coming to age, which is, you know, navigating your 20s. And this is specifically one that's used a lot in indie films, where it's a young girl in her 20s coming of age, navigating romantic life as a young adult. That's what this movie is. And yes, it does include lesbians. She tries both genders out. And at first I was actually kind of getting concerned that maybe I hadn't picked a good movie for this week, and I was confused because IMDb labels it as a slasher horror. Well, it comes up. Trust me, it comes up. But like I said, I was concerned at first that maybe it's not like a super horror movie. Maybe it's just like kind of horror. Nope. It definitely proves me wrong. Maze Crazy is a very slow and subtle build, and the payoff at the end it's worth it. It's definitely worth it. And if you're a girl who likes films such as American Mary, Jennifer's Body, Ginger Snaps, Pearl, if you like any of those 4 films, you add May. And I feel like this review is going to be just a little bit different than usual, where I typically have like several chapters of like these main topics that I want to touch on with a movie. Man, I feel like I just have one giant topic to talk about this, and it is the fact that it is the perfect weird girl movie, dude. I would beg to say that May is the weird girl movie. Like, this is the weird girl movie. The only way I feel like I can convey it very well is a list of examples. So think Lenore, the cutest little dead girl, Growing Up Creepy, Ruby Gloom, Emily the Strange. May is such a good, like, real life movie example of characters such as these. And her character specifically, again, I'm so sorry that I only know how to communicate in a list right now, but May's character specifically, I want you to think Mary Mason plus Lenore the cute little dead girl plus Daria. And it really genuinely starts like a late 90s, early 2000s indie romance of like weird girl and weird boy kind of breaks weird girl's heart. And then there's where the conflict is. And it does do a very good, slow and kind of subtle build into how crazy May actually is below her socially awkward surface. May is an oddball, socially awkward girl who likes disturbing, grotesque things. She makes her own clothes, and she's very cute. She is the manic pixie dream girl. But then as these characteristics of how actually unhinged she might be start to come to the surface a little bit more, especially in her actions, and as she starts to get more confident with herself, May isn't just like a cute indie girl. She actually has some issues going on, and I'm just so happy and satisfied that what ends up happening towards the end of the film is actually crazy. And it's actually grotesque. And can I also just add that what the fuck is with me choosing all of these movies that follow Frankenstein motifs? It's a slow build, but also it doesn't take forever for the audience to see that May is actually a little bit scary. I think the actress Angela Bettis also she does an amazing job with this character at making her both like quirky weird and scary weird kind of simultaneously, or like letting one slip through a little bit more than the other. One of my favorite examples of how well she does this is when May is telling one of the love interests, Adam, about this dog that she had to stitch up and its intestines came out, and the entire time that she's telling this story, she is shaking and smiling.
But when we went to sew Seymour back up, we realized that we were out of the heavy sutures that you're supposed to use for large dogs. So the doctor decided that if we tripled up on cat sutures, that should do the trick. The cat sutures had burst when he was at work, and by the time he got home, Seymour was sprawled out on the back porch with his guts spread all over the concrete. And the fence was soaked in blood all the way around the yard. It was a mess.
She is shaking and smiling while talking about a dog's intestines being thrown everywhere. And she's also like giggling a little bit. God, it's such a good scene, and it's such a good example of how you slowly get to see these examples that, you know, maybe May is actually unhinged and scary, and it's not just like a cute, quirky weird, but like a serious like you're gonna do something one day weird. And she does do something one day, so. But there are other little subtle hints thrown throughout, such as the obsession with body parts or dolls, the whispers that happen whenever Susie, her doll in a case, is on screen. And I also want to add that I really appreciate that she is this grotesque, gross, weird girl, and she's not goth. She's not goth. She dresses like a hipster. And I just want to share some appreciation over that because, okay, I'm gonna have to admit something to you guys. I resonate so heavily with May. I don't know if I've ever resonated with a fictional character this much before. Like, and I feel like I say this a whole lot on the channel, but little me, if younger me, like fucking 11 or 12-year-old Rachel had watched May at that age, let me tell you, May would have been my blueprint. I would have been obsessed with this girl. I would have wanted to do everything possible to become May Kennedy. I would have started trying to make my own clothes and make them all weird and patch-like she does. I was already obsessed with Frankensteining my dolls. Like, she is me. She's me. The way people feel about Pearl, that's how I'm feeling about May. And to go back to the topic that brought this up, I appreciate that she's not just straight up a goth girl, because I feel like that's how I've been most of my life. Like, yeah, I wear some black, but for the most part, I'm not like in your face goth girl. And that's why I love her. I love that she's just somewhat normal hipster looking. She's not someone that you would expect to be into all this grotesque, weird, and disturbing stuff. Oh my god, I love that. Because it would have been so easy to just straight up make her goth, and I get that, and no hate towards the goths. I love goths. I don't know if I would be considered a goth or an emo, but I just appreciate that we have a weird girl movie where she's so grotesquely weird and she's not goth. Like, I hope you understand what I'm trying to get at with that. It's nothing against goths. I love goths. I am a goth. I've labeled myself as goth for I don't know how long, even though I'm not in your face goth. I'm comfy goth, okay? There's something about the choice there that I just love and appreciate so much. But I just love that we have a weird girl who isn't just goth, because it feels like you know what it is? It feels like it's a cop-out. It's like, of course the goth girl is weird. Well, no, we have this beautiful indie hipster girl in pigtails sucking her fucking thumb. I know this bitch is not sucking her fucking thumb as our grotesque weird girl instead, and I love that. I applaud that. Yes, thank you. And you know what? I especially resonate with the fact that May appreciates a fine ass set of hands. Do you think it might be concerning that that is also one of the features I look for first in a dude are his hands? And I admit maybe how much I'm loving this movie, how much I just think it's a perfect weird girl movie. I admit maybe that has some bias behind it, and that's fine. Maybe my review here about May is going to be a little bit biased. I can see that. I can understand that. But I honestly don't know what anyone would hate about this movie unless they were a straight man. I'm sorry. That's obviously not gonna be every straight man who watches this movie, because of course there are dudes out there who do like female-led narratives. But I'm just saying, that I can't see anybody hating this unless you're a straight guy. This is a girls, gays, and theys kind of movie. I'm surprised nobody on Tumblr has like made lengthy posts about it, or if they have, it's never come across my feed. I swear to you, I've never seen a single soul talk about May, and this is my soapbox. This is my soapbox to come on here and tell you about how perfect I think this movie is, how it needs some more recognition. Maybe this is me preaching to the choir. Maybe I'm just out of the loop and everybody already knows about May, and now I look like a fool. But damn it, this movie is my pearl. This movie is my pearl. And the one and only complaint that I have about it is, why did some random guy get a more brutal death than fucking Adam? That's my only complaint. That's the only bad thing I have to say. Why the hell did a random guy off the street get a more brutal death than the man who literally fucking broke your heart? The lesbian Polly, she gets a more brutal, cold death than fucking Adam. Are you kidding me? That's the only negative thing I have to say about this movie. I think that, you know, if you're gonna do that to Polly, where is that for Adam? Or maybe it's that Polly especially hurt her, I don't know. Which kind of goes into one of the final little points I have about how this is a perfect weird girl movie. I think there's so many readings and interpretations and messages, metaphors, symbolism that you can take from this movie and get something from. There's definitely some type of deeper narrative happening, especially with the symbolism of the doll Susie being trapped in her box and how that relates to May and what's happening with May. I had a really busy week, so forgive me. I did not have a whole lot of time to like sit down and be able to like conclude my own interpretation of how things are connecting and what they represent. I would very much love to one day. Like, if I could in the future, I will absolutely do a second video on May, just discussing my interpretations of this film. I hate that I didn't get enough time to do it just for this video, but just know, it's there. There's a lot that you can gain from watching this movie, especially if you're into analysis or literature, stuff like that. If you're into literary theory and applying it to movies, May is your movie. There's definitely a lot going on that you can pull from and have a more in-depth discussion about some of the deeper meanings happening in this film. And I love that. I especially love it when things are open to interpretation. It's not like holding your hand through it. You can kind of piece some things together, and maybe not everybody has the same exact interpretation, but I love that. I love the different ideas that everybody gets. I like when it's not just one solid, concrete meaning. You know what I mean? So if you've already watched May, or, you know, if you decide to watch May after this and you want to share your interpretation of some stuff that's going on, please leave it in the comments. I would love to read it. I love this shit. I love it. Now, like I said, this one was probably going to be a little bit of a short review. There's a lot that could be discussed with May, which I just did not have the time to like fully write out and delve into myself. It was a busy work week, a busy traveling week a little bit too. I had appointments. Like I said, I would not be shy from returning to this movie in the future and doing like a dedicated video and giving my analysis of what's going on. I will forever keep this movie's name in my mouth. Go watch it. Especially if you like some of the movies that I've compared it to, or some of the like fictional characters that I've compared May to, then yeah, please go watch it. Please go watch it right now. Stop the video right now before my rating. Go watch it. Yeah. So overall, I think my feelings have been made very clear, and so then it should be no surprise what my rating is gonna be. Bitch, of course May is getting an A. A for Adam should have had a more gruesome death. Womp womp. I mean, like, what else can I tell you that I haven't already spent the entirety of this movie saying, dude? It is the perfect weird girl film. Man, she's the blueprint. She's the blueprint, and I resonate with her. And if you like female empowerment kind of movies, such as American Mary or Pearl, then you need to go out and you need to watch May tonight, right now, right this second. And I think just my favorite part of it is how her crazy builds, but it also doesn't take forever for her crazy to build. It's an hour-and-a-half movie, and I think it fills that time very well. Nothing about it really ever felt like fluff. Everything feels like it has a purpose. Every scene has a purpose. And it is very effective in telling its story. I believe that the conclusion is not only like fucking crazy, but it's a satisfying end that has these feelings of being tragic and sad, but at the same time, strangely comforting. If you've watched the movie, or when you watch the movie, you'll see what I mean by the closing scene. I don't want to spoil it because I think it is a little bit unexpected. And then once you watch it more than once, you can see where it's foreshadowing that this is gonna end up happening in the end. But when you first watch it, obviously you don't know. The foreshadowing is so minute and subtle, you don't even really notice it. Man, I don't know. I feel like if I stand here saying anything else about this movie, it's just gonna be me repeating what I've already said. I just go watch May. It's an A tier. Has the potential to move up to S, I think, obviously. I feel like this was a shitty review because it's just me praising this movie the whole time, but we are done with yet another movie review. Thank you guys so much if you stayed all the way until the very end. If you like this video, make sure that you stab that like button. It is a free and easy way to help support this channel, and I appreciate it so much. If you like this review so much that you want to hear me ramble about other B movies, obscure cinema, or disturbing cinema, then consider hitting the subscribe button and the bell icon so you can be notified every time I make a new upload, which typically tends to be every Friday at about 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Sometimes it can be Saturday, just depending on how busy my work schedule is that week. Also, is there a movie, especially an obscure movie, that you think I might enjoy or that you want to see reviewed on the channel? Put it in the comments down below and maybe you will see it reviewed. Thank you so much to anyone who considers doing any of this. Just to plug a little bit more stuff, sometimes I go live. Somewhere on the screen is my Twitch and YouTube that I would be going live under. I've been very busy, so I have not gotten to stream in a while, but if you catch me in a stream, the days vary and I tend to go live at about 6 or 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And if I do ever go live, you can get updates on it on my social media, specifically the Instagram. So if you wish to follow me there for updates, here it is. I don't know. And again, just thank you so much for all of you who have spent your time watching all the way through this video. Our time is precious and we really don't have a whole lot of it. So the fact that you have used your time to watch this like 20 to 30 minute video about me just praising a movie, not giving it any critique, just being in love with it and telling you how much you should go watch it. Thank you. Thank you for using your time to watch this video. It means a lot. Thank you. If I do not catch you guys in a live stream, I will see you in next week's video. But until then, have a good night and stay safe out there.
You can't just sew it back on, can you?
I could.